Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Stef and I create videos all about the film, acting, and entertainment industry, so if that's something that interests you, then consider subscribing. Today we are reviewing Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and guys, wow. Honestly, wow. I really enjoyed this movie and I cannot wait to share all of my opinions with you, so if you are excited to hear what I thought about Shang-Chi, then stay tuned. Ready? Let's do this. I do want to preface that my last few reviews, I've really gone heavy on the recap part, and I want to pull back on that. I got a little bit of feedback that I completely wholeheartedly agree with, and that is that I really should focus more on my opinions about the film as opposed to the recap of the film. So for that reason, I'm really going to try to go light on taking you through step by step what happens in the film, and really just try to focus on the things that I liked and the things that I didn't like, and just the high points, the low points, and the things that you should focus on when you go see the movie. So bear that in mind, and hopefully you enjoy it just as much, if not more, than the other style of review. This is such a good origin story. So real quick background on me and my history with Marvel. I am a huge Iron Man fan, if you can't tell. Basically, back in 2008, May of 2008 to be specific, I was 17 years old. Obviously was then, still am now, huge movie buff, so we would go to movies all the time with family. And I just remember everyone asking what movie we should see that weekend, and I had seen a bunch of previews for this random movie called Iron Man, and it was #1 at the box office. And so I suggested to my family that we go see this movie, and immediately I fell in love. I'm pretty sure I saw it 3 times in theaters. As soon as it was out on DVD, I bought the collector's edition 2-disc DVD set where the mask is the case. It's really cool. I have an entire shelf of Iron Man memorabilia. Now the thing is here, I know I'm not the biggest fan in the world, simply because I don't read the comic books. I'm not that diehard of a fan. I am a movie fan. I love Robert Downey Jr. and I love him as Tony Stark. I love him as Iron Man, and I am still grieving his untimely death. Very unfortunate. But I really like the idea of taking a chance on a hero that I don't know anything about. I mean, it blew me away. It just reminds me a lot of Iron Man in the way of the fact that it is just this hero who we don't really know much about, and we really are getting this great origin story where regardless of the MCU, I'm just so excited to go back into Shang-Chi's universe. I have a little bit of a background in martial arts.
I actually did take a little bit of martial arts as a youth, so I'm gonna try and grade this fight as we're going.
I'm never gonna catch my breath. Say goodbye to those who knew me.
Boy, was I a fool in school for cutting gym.
I have a black belt. The thing is, I did stop going to my classes in 6th grade, so I achieved my junior black belt in 6th grade and never did anything beyond that. The fact is, I have a huge respect for martial arts and for that whole world, and I really enjoyed all of the fight sequences, all of the action, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But first, we have Simu as Shang-Chi, or Shan, and he is so good. He did such a good job. I know he started out on Kim's Convenience as well as a stock photo model, which is hilarious and awesome, and Simu gave me major Jackie Chan vibes, just in the way of his combat, his movements, his fighting style, but also in his comedy and the way he delivered lines and his charm, and he really just had the whole package. He was such a hero. He was such an action hero, and I thought he did so great. He gave me those nostalgic vibes of those kung fu movies that I used to watch when I was a kid with my papa, and he kept me on the edge of my seat. Simu was joined by Awkwafina playing Katie, and oh my goodness, I love Awkwafina. I think she's hilarious. I think she has amazing comedic timing. Really quick Awkwafina side story. I didn't get to officially meet Awkwafina, but I've seen her in person, and I actually had a really cool experience. I got to watch her movie, The Farewell, with her. So it's not like she was sitting right next to me, but we were in the same auditorium. So in 2019, when I first moved to Atlanta, I met some really, really cool friends who invited me to the Atlanta Film Festival. It was such a huge, crazy, amazing opportunity, and you know, before the pandemic shut everything down, I got to meet so many people, and one of the awesome, amazing, crazy, unexpected perks was that I got to see the Atlanta premiere, essentially, of The Farewell. And Lulu Wang, the director, as well as Awkwafina, the star, were both in attendance and did a Q&A on stage after the film was played.
I go to Zaxby's. I thought Empire Package was actually a shipping place.
But yeah, so that's my little Awkwafina story. Really, really excited she was in this, and she did an awesome job. Very, very funny. The film was directed by Destin Cretton, and hopefully I got the pronunciation correct. Everyone that worked on this movie did such a good job. Whether it was crew, cast, every actor in this film is amazing. I think it was really special to watch these actors doing their own stunts and really performing and showing off the martial arts and the different styles of martial arts that were used in the film, and all of that was just really, really entertaining for me, and it was so much better for me than just normal hand-to-hand combat of like, oh, punch, punch, kick, kick. Like the dance fight between the parents was just, you know, Wenwu and Shang-Chi's mom, it was so romantic and flirty and aggressive, but not, and it was just beautiful. It really was this dance between the two of them, and it was such a good moment, and the filmmakers did such a good job with callbacks throughout the film. The fact that they had that shared moment in that fight dance, and then later on in the climax fight between Shang-Chi and his father, they have a similar moment that reflects that moment, except instead of a positive moment for his father, it ends up being a negative. It's like the tables have been turned on him at that point.
Well, well, well. How the turntables.
I really liked their use of callbacks in that way, and the fact that they just used their heads and they made a really good film. Like, this is just such a good movie. Like, MCU aside, this is so good. It's really good. Please go see this movie. If you are on the fence at all, get off the fence and get to the theater, because seriously, this movie is so good. It's really good. I promise you won't be disappointed. Some high points, I think that the cameos were done really well. So there's a cameo by Wong, and it wasn't overdone, it was just the right amount. And then there was another cameo by Ben Kingsley, and hands down, favorite moments of the movie involved him and his little guy Morris, and hilarious, but also the connection to Iron Man is just a win. For me, any day is gonna be a win. So the Ben Kingsley stuff, gold, absolute gold. There really weren't that many low points. Honestly, I could sit here and I could nitpick at them, but I don't really want to. I don't want to bring up negative things about this movie because I enjoyed it that much. Like, I really, really, really liked it. There wasn't a moment in this movie where I was necessarily bored or I was necessarily not having a good time. There is a moment where maybe the story slows down. So if you aren't an avid moviegoer and you do need action and you need like movement and you need continuous buzz to keep your attention, there might be a moment where it does lull when the group finally does get to Ta Lo. So once that happens and they start doing their training and they're going through all of that, there are some moments that would be considered a little bit slower. So I guess if you're twisting my arm here and you're making me pull something out of the hat, I guess I would say that, but like honestly, I didn't mind that at all. I thought that those moments were necessary for the growth of the characters, for the growth of, you know, the story and the plot, and pushing the story forward. There were moments that were necessary. So I don't fault them for that. I think that, you know, that was part of it. The film does run over 2 hours. It's about 2 hours, 12 minutes, and it does feel a little bit long, but not in the way of like, oh geez, let me check my watch. When is this movie gonna be over? It just feels like you're getting a lot of movie. You feel satisfied at the end. Touching back on the action and the combat. So again, I do have a junior black belt, but I'm definitely not any type of expert. But again, I do have respect for martial arts and the expertise that was displayed, and it was all very breathtaking. And the bus scene, is incredible. I mean, it really just throws you right into the film. It's action from start to finish. Razor Fist is a funny character, but also pretty badass. I like that the movie didn't take itself too seriously. It definitely found room for humor, which most MCU films do. It felt unique. It didn't feel forced. I thought that all of the actors had great chemistry and worked really well together. I am very, very excited to see what they do with Shang-Chi in the future. I want to see sequels. I want to see him and Awkwafina both somehow involved in other movies and cameos. I'm really, really excited to see what the sister is going to be doing. I think her name's Zhang. This is a quick spoiler for one of the end credits scenes. So if you haven't seen the end credit scene, be aware, I'm about to ruin it, but there is a scene at the end where the sister has, instead of shutting down the father's 10 Rings compound, she has sort of taken it over and combined his compound, his training compound, with her fighting club. And so it has sort of turned into, like she said, she wanted to build her own empire, so it really has turned into her empire. And the best part is that it is equal training, so men and women get to fight and train side by side. So I'm really, really excited to see what direction they're gonna go with that. I feel like they're sort of flirting with her becoming a villain somehow, or maybe going in a dark direction. It will be interesting to see what direction they do take her in eventually. So just to really quickly touch on the Mandarin situation. So one thing that this film did really well is it redeemed the Mandarin. I'm using air quotes because obviously Wenwu, the father character, does not like the name Mandarin. He belittles the name Mandarin. So I'm not gonna address him as the Mandarin because that's not the name he wants to go by. So you'll see in the film there's an entire sequence where they really redeem that legend and they redeem that character and sort of set things straight and set things right and fix things that they sort of botched, I guess, in Iron Man 3 with how they handled the character of the Mandarin. I really, really, really loved this movie. I honestly, I can't say it enough. I don't know how many times. I sound like a broken record at this point, but go see Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It is amazing. You will love it. And I officially give Shang-Chi a 97, which is hands down the best score that I've given any movie that I have reviewed so far. And I stand by that. I really do believe it's the best movie that I've seen, that I've reviewed at least this year. It's definitely the best superhero movie of the year, which is saying something, but go check it out. If you haven't already, go see Shang-Chi. You will not regret it. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed my review of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, and I would love to hear what you thought of the movie. Go ahead and comment down below and tell me if you agreed or if you disagreed with anything I said today. If you haven't already, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel. I have so many great ideas coming up, especially for the month of October. You know, it's spooky season, and I have so many Halloween and horror related videos coming up. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are in the world. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.